This will be volume 2 for the preparation of the final exam on drugs and society. This is Professor Welch for volume 2. Now, one term you need to know is the term stacking, stacking, how that relates to anabolic steroids. Review that in detail. Now you need to know about taverns, Taverns. In the United States during the 19th century, it was amazing, but taverns were used much broader than they were used now. They were often used as churches, as voting places, and they were a place that was revered by the people at all levels of society. It's strange to think about it, how different it is today in many areas. You need to know the percentage of the drinking population in the United States, how much total alcohol they consume. So review that. And then you need to know about forfeiture as it relates to drugs and how that works in financial situations. And also you need to know about recidivism, recidivism, and what the rate of recidivism is, especially as it pertains to drug courts of our country. So continuing on with other matters that would be helpful to review, know the percentage of illicit drugs entering the United States border and where they're entering, because the borders are a big source of drugs coming into our country. You need to know the absorption, absorption rate of various drugs, how they're absorbed. For example, the slowest would be subcutaneous, which would be under the skin. The next slowest, or the one that's a little faster, is the intramuscular, and the fastest yet is intravenous. So you'll have to know the order. And then remember, drugs can be ingested by mouth, and some people who try suicide ingest the drug, but they usually have 20 minutes for which they can change their mind. Study about psychoactive drugs, and know the country, which is Afghanistan. Remember how they hid Osama bin Laden, and yet they have a big heroin trade, and this heroin trade helped the terrorist Osama bin Laden. Know how the source of alcohol, how it enters the system. Know the criticism of certification process, whether it's good or bad, or criticisms of them. Now we're going on. What would be considered a moderate drinker? How many drinks? It's different for women than for men in terms of the drinking. So study that, what makes a drinking, drunk, and so forth. Know about codependency. Remember, if a father pays the rent of his son because the son blew all the money on drugs, then the son is in a codependency relationship, and the father is in an enabler situation. And know about the country of Russia. Early on, when people started smoking, they would whip and torture the people. So that seems amazing to this day, but know that. Know the various risk factors regarding the use of drugs. Perhaps someone's parents use it. That would be a risk factor. Genetic, or maybe they have an environment in which drugs are easily available. Maybe they're tempted and so forth. But know about the risk factors. Know about physical and psychological dependency, and know about the gateway hypothesis. There's an issue, is marijuana a gateway drug? If you use marijuana, does that mean that you'll start using cocaine or some of these harder drugs, or is it not material? I know there's a lot of debate in that. And how does your textbook say that comes out? Know how the alcohol gets into the bloodstream and all about the metabolism of alcohol in the body. And that's very clearly discussed in the text. So if you review these concepts, that will be helpful to you in doing your research and preparing for the final exam. This will be the end of tape 2 of the final review.